Show and Tell Boston After Dark, part 2 of our Asian conversation. I'm the only Pacific Islander. But I wanted to talk to you guys about parenting, Asian parenting. What is that like? How do you think that's different than like other cultures in America?
For me, because I'm second generation. So my parents were born here.
Second generation.
My parents were born here, but my grandparents immigrated here. So what is
Okay.
that, third generation? I don't know. I don't fucking know. But
Okay, yeah.
but there's a lot of pressure to make a lot of money and do something quote unquote legitimate. Like the more it's seen as more legitimate, the more money it makes. So being working in a creative field, an entertainment field, it's tough. I try to keep my parents in the dark as much as possible.
Goddamn.
Because I don't want to be judged.
They want you to be a doctor?
Not like that, but like they definitely want me to get something more corporate maybe. Yeah. So yeah.
I agree with that. I think Asian families, like, they don't focus or support like their child's creative side. It's very much like, medical field or lawyer or whatever. But they never really focus on their child's creative side. Like, my mom never put me in any sports or play any instruments and stuff like that. Like, I had to discover those things as as I was older. And Asian parenting, I would say it's like they want you to depend on them for as long as possible.
Really?
Yeah, so like they don't really
really?
want you to find your independency,
What?
Yeah, so like that's why a lot of Asian families, like a lot of Asian kids, like they live with their parents till whenever, until they're married, they have kids, and until then, like their parents still want them to live with them. Where in America, it's like, by 18, the kids want to move out and the parents support that.
My mama kicked my ass out. She
Yeah,
got me an
but Asian
apartment. I didn't even
families,
have no
like-
job, girl. I didn't even
Yeah.
know how to pay the rent, girl.
Yeah, like when
it's
I was
completely
pregnant
different.
and, I was going to move out with my son's dad and stuff, like my mom was like, no, like I want you to stay in the house.
Wow.
Like I don't want you to be independent. So like there's certain things that they are strict about because they kind of want to be a part of your decision making. And it's hard for them, when you're out on your own and you're making your own decisions and doing what you want to do, like that is hard for them to cope with.
So for me, I appreciate my parents sent me here as the single child from the family. They are very brave, and I want to say thank you, mom and dad. I'm very
Hey, let's go.
happy.
Get the hug.
I think it's a good timing as a Asian woman and living in America. I think so. The things I feel the difference with American culture, family culture is like I never say I love you to my parents before I came here, because if I say it's so weird to open my mouth just say that I love you, and I being practice and try to every time I call them FaceTime with them, at the end of the phone call I say I love you. And they'll say, "Nah, we care about you too." I didn't say I love you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Thank you.
Yeah, but
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goddamn.
yeah, like if you say at the beginning, if you say I love you, they will worry about like what's going on. You sick? You'll get canceled. Like,
yeah.
do you need money or something? But like the more like it's the new love language I need to practice with my parents. And also like the other thing is like before I came, like when I came here, they more worry about like did you pass the exam, did you eat healthy food, but they don't usually ask me how do you feel, how do you think or something. The question about the feeling, but right now I'm more explore like what's going on. If I feel stressed, I feel happy, I will like always I was hard to them because I realize I'm getting older and they're getting older too. So it's not much time to like, especially I'm been living here for 10 years, and then I think I need to make more effort if I'm not around them. At least say something nice and make them happy. It's like that's what I learned.
Do you feel like you're able to be more expressive, to be more of your more authentic self, just like kind of being in the States?
Yes, I definitely like I can say something what I feel, even I'm unhappy or happy thing to my to anyone right now, but before I came here, I usually hide my negative feelings. I'm not usually shows like I don't like it. I want to be like part of group. It's like the Chinese culture. I don't like to be different. I want to be the same with anyone. But after I came here, I think being the different, it's being myself. It's a good thing. I feel good. I don't need to be.
That's nice.
I don't need to show like like hide the feeling and just like feel the whole aura of myself so weird. I just say what I think, and then I just feel good, and I don't need to care that much about what other people think.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Mine was different. In Muslim culture, Indonesian culture, was more about value. So like they feed you with value, like pray, don't forget to pray 5 times, don't forget to do this, to do that. And in Indonesia, I can't talk about other family, but in my family it's really rare for the parents to talk about like sex, like education. So we don't talk about that. It's very you can't say that, so like my
So
best
you
friend.
figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're not supposed to do that because
You're not married.
yeah. So we don't. It's taboo to talk about that. So like we don't have that kind of conversation. So that parenting side was outside of the book. All about the value. Like okay, don't hurt people, don't steal from anybody.
So is your first like sexual conversation
Oh my God.
ever with your husband? Is that the first time people
you
kind of really talk
should.
about sex? It should be
Yeah.
with your husband?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's even though some people do that.
Yeah.
I'm not
Before they're
talking-
married?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Asian parents, they don't ever have that talk with
Yeah.
you that American parents have. The birds and the bees,
My mom
whatever.
ain't do it either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have any of that conversation. Sex to them is very much like you're having sex to reproduce and have a
Yeah.
family. Other than that, it's not like for pleasure like it is for America. So I've never had that conversation. You have to kind of learn that in school, and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
just
TV.
kind of TV, social media,
Yeah.
and just finding out on your own and just figure out your own body and
Yeah.
whoever you're dating or whatever. But yeah, it's like never talked about.
But right now, I'm applying that parenting to my nephew and my niece because I know like they're 16, 17, and I know that their parents will not say anything to them, and then my mom definitely not gonna tell them.
Right.
But because it's different, like me, when I was 15, I'm the provider in the family.
At 15 years old?
Yeah. So we were poor at that time. So since I was 15, I'm already like the decision maker. I like until
You were
right
the leader
now.
of the whole family.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So the parenting side, I didn't get a lot of insight. It's not like my parents didn't teach me, but my parents taught me the situation.
Right.
So I figured it out.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to figure out how to put my family in a good situation, even though with my niece. And now I'm like, okay, when I checked their Instagram, when I was in Indonesia, and I saw like something like my niece was like a guy, and I said like, hey, it's okay to have a boyfriend, but not right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I was
That's
in your age. If you want to have a boyfriend right now, it's under your age. It's not good. So like I'm giving her like that, and then I try to be open. Like, do you want to tell me what happened? Like,
Yeah.
The nephew like was opening something in the internet.
Yeah.
And I told my mom like he's doing something. Then we need to talk. So right now like I am the one who like take control. You can't do that. You can't do that because I know that their parents will not say anything.
When you were providing for the family at 15, what did you do for work?
So under 15, I was working as sales, a promotion girl. So,
At 15?
yeah.
What?
And then I went to like hundreds of singing competitions. So like you got money from the competitions.
Oh, so you like to sing? You weren't playing?
No.
Damn, she can sing, girl.
She can
Yeah.
sing.
I was in Indonesian Idol 2010.
She was on like talent shows.
Wait,
in
say that
Indonesia.
again.
I was in Indonesian Idol in 2010.
Y'all heard what she said? She was on the Asian American Idol in 2010. Girl, you was, girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was working. Well, in Indonesia, it's different currency than America. But at that time, every time I got money, I gave it to my family, half of that. So, and I believe in God, I believe in, believe in whatever it is. So in Muslim culture, if you share that to your parents, then God will give you more. So the more I give, the more I get. So that's like my principle right now. It's like the more I give it to my family, I believe it's gonna double, and it is proof that every time I get, every time I give, I'm getting like double. So, yeah.
That is absolutely fascinating.
Thank you.
That is crazy. Damn, I don't even know what to say.
It was hard.
You got to go because I'm stunned.
I want to talk about, like, when it comes to parenting and then when it comes to all these things, like, how is mental health in, say, intermediate families in Asian culture or Asian culture in general, or your experiences, like, how are you guys able to talk about mental health in your families
We don't.
We don't.
We don't.
at all?
We don't.
Quan, you
What was
too?
it? I did, but that's because I reached a really low point in my life and I couldn't hide it anymore. And I'm just very lucky that my parents were more understanding, and like, but they still showed their, like, you know. I remember this was like back in 2017. I made a big Facebook status explaining I'm taking time off. My mental health isn't great. I was just being, you know, vulnerable, but in a way that I didn't want to hide anything because I spent too long pretending I was okay. So but my mom did not like that at all.
The Facebook post?
Yeah, she got like mad. She was like, family friends are now asking like what's going on, and I didn't account. It was just like a very from the heart moment. And that's another thing, like, you know, with Asian parenting and like Asian culture, it's more collectivist. So like, you know, like I felt like in my you know, I understand where my parents are coming from, just from how they were how they were raised. They feel like I'm just like, you know, it's a concept in Asian culture called saving face. Like, you know, it's about like harmony and all that. Like even like Confucianism promotes that type of harmony for society. So my mom was just really angry, and then like she also, but then I think she was genuine when she said it. She also said like she just, you know, like her friends and people judging like me, and then also judging the whole family. And you know, it's like I don't like, I get it. Like I'm like sympathetic to my mom, but I'm like, what was it? I just like, you know, I just deactivated my account instead of like deleting it. Yeah. And then when I was in a better place mentally, I was, you know, I'm like, this doesn't define me anymore. I can delete this now and all that.
Just want to ask, are you okay now?
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, like life has its ups and downs, but I would say, yeah, like, you know, like I'm not on any like psychiatric medications.
Yeah.
How
and
did
all
you
that.
get out from that?
Well, like, how do I get out? Like, for me, it was just like, and you know, this is very against Asian culture, like, just being, I had to be selfish.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, sir. 100%.
And that's something that's like hard. Like, even like, what was it? Like, for example, I had this conversation today about the creative stuff. I dropped a music video today for my song. I show my mom clips, like, it looks mad expensive. You spend a lot of money. I'm like, yeah, I view it as an investment in myself. And my mom said, no, an investment would be you going to grad school or something like that. So that just shows you the clash of like, but like, that's why, like, it's changing now, like, a lot of changing. Like, you know, Netflix, there's a show called Beef.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite shows.
It's a good show. I've been passing it.
I actually know.
watch that.
I've rewatched that show because for me, that show,
It's good, girl. Okay, good.
And I felt like that was a show that for like fully spoke to me as an Asian American. Like, there's a lot of things you would not understand unless you're like an Asian American male.
Wow, I got goosebumps. That's great to
watching
know.
that show. And it's like, yeah, I felt just, and you know, Steven Yeun, I'm a big fan of him from the Walking Dead days. He's like,
Oh, he's a great actor.
He's a great, like, leader. Steven Yeun is paving the way for Asian men. But yeah, it's like, what was it? Yeah, just like, and that's another thing. That show, even like Steven Yeun, the character he plays is really like a hurt person inside, and he's like, you know, there's a famous quote in the last episode: "Therapy doesn't work for Eastern minds." Yeah, and for me,
I heard that.
And
is that true though?
Do
you believe that true? I mean, we wouldn't know.
For like, yeah, no, and I just like that's why I said that this show like talks to me, because there's a lot of like cultural struggles and like that, and like even my parents are like, compared to many, they're like still pretty like open-minded. Like, they're okay. Like, when I was like seeing a therapist or a psychiatrist, but I feel like, yeah, no, I still think that in large, like, especially like, for example, in Japan, like mental health is just it's very stigmatized, and that's why like, and even like for example in a place like Japan, like psychiatric professionals are like in the developed nations, they're like paid among the least, and that's just a reflection of how like their culture and society views mental health and all that.
Yeah, we don't really talk mental health in Indonesia. I had a very rough childhood, you know, but it didn't affect my mental health, or maybe I didn't know it was a mental health, you know. You know, my mom, because we were so poor, so my mom was working as a housemaid, cleaning things to pay my tuition at the time when I was 13, 14. And when I was 15 and I saw my mom was cleaning someone's house, one of our family, and I couldn't see that, you know. And I had to live in that house, you know, looking at my mom cleaning it. Something was wrong.
You didn't like seeing your mama do that?
Yeah. So now I'm spoiling my parents.
That's right, girl.
And I will die for my parents.
I know that's right.
So when you live in someone's house and then you were accused of stealing someone's makeup, and you know it was very tough, and then people look at you different because you're poor. But my way to get away with that, like I like praying, like this, you know, like I believe in that sort of like, okay, you let it go, God sees you, good things will come later. So like I've never complained about my situation. So that's like my main medication, like medicine, whatever, to get away with mental health. You know, people in Indonesia don't really go to therapists unless you're really, really crazy. So it's a judgment when you go to therapists. When I had my boyfriend, I had a boyfriend before, and we fought a lot.
Yeah.
And we call it couple therapist, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
You know, like it's different, but we don't talk that much about that.
What you got to say, Quan?
Yeah, I would say like for example, like my dad, like you know, like love my dad, like but he's also like, what was it? It's very apparent like the way like both me and him cope.
Yeah.
It's just like for example, like my dad, it's like, and I would say it's not strictly an Asian thing. I find that this is very common in a lot of like working class immigrant families in general.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, whatever, you know, like to them it's normal, like, you know, drink, like, you know, drink to like ease down, and but like my mom, and you know, like I've had some pretty difficult conversations when my dad feels like he just can't like share anything because he feels like no one, you know, people don't understand, and that just like, like definitely I feel like in Asian culture, like just as overall, like the men are you know, they just can't, they're just told like, you know, work and you can't complain because that's weakness, and then but you know, like unfortunately we're human, we're not built to just be like completely stoic, emotionless machines.
That's right.
And that's
right.
And that's when like the suicide rate in like East Asian countries have gone up over the years.
What's up, Adam?
I feel like some Asian families prioritize success, like career success, over like their kids' mental health.
Capitalism over their mental.
They care very much about like the image, you know, their image and what's like how people perceive you. They care very much about that.
That sounds so stressful and overwhelming.
Saving face, collectivism.
Yeah, like for example, like my grandmother. Well, she just passed away, and you know.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. But her 3 kids are very successful financially, very successful. But like, some of them like didn't want to be there when she passed away, just because they felt like estranged from her. They just didn't get along. So it's like, it just messed up. You know, they prioritize this financial success over that, when I think there needs to be more of a balance, I guess, going forward. You know, so yeah.
Do you think that has affected? How do you think that has affected you guys individually? That pressure and that stigma and that.
It's always in the back of my head, like every day, like I gotta make more money. Like, it's always in the back of my head, and I guess that pushes me to be great. But still, you know, I guess like even when I like take a little bit of break, I'm like, oh damn, you're such a bum, you know. But yeah. You know.
Put your heart on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like so, Quan, I won't tell you. right now I accept my parents being them. So my parents grow up with like a cultural revolution. They also, it's hard to open their mind. Or it's hard to ask them to say sorry for something. They will never admit, no, it's not my fault. You forgot. It's not different thing. It's different way. And I just learned to accept who they are, and then I accept that definitely has something I will never figure out. I'll never be connect again with my parents. And the other reason I like to stay here because I feel like no one could judge me that much as when I live in China. So what do I want to say? I kind of forget. It's a little late. Yeah, so it's too much. Okay, when I live in China, it's too much guilty. Guilty as a student, guilty as a daughter.
Yes.
I didn't bring the face to my parents. I'm not a like top one student. I'm not go to the great school, and I just like I feel like I have a messed up life if I live in China. So I'm kind of hiding here, but it's just try to find my life in my way. But also anyone like I know if they have a daughter in their home, I always tell them love them, just like give them love, and then bring them where they want to go and spoil them a little bit more. Don't be too like too much like standards. You have to be this. You have to be better than your cousins. Why like other families' daughter can be number one. Why you cannot be? Don't just compare with them. They are your kids. That just love them. So that's what I learned, and I try to persuade or encourage all the friends around me who has a daughter at home, and just give them more love, so they will stay around them, not just like me hiding here.
That's the second time I heard that advice this week. I'm gonna, that's great advice because I have a daughter myself. I got 2 kids. What's up, Quan? You talking a whole bunch tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
my friend get his shit out. It's therapy for my friend. Come on, friend, talk to us. Talk to us, Quan.
Yeah, there's not a lot of opportunities to talk about like Asian issues like these.
That's
so
right.
like for
Today's the day, baby.
So
Get
for me, when there's an opportunity to contribute, I just want, and I don't represent all Asians, but I have my own story.
That's right.
To tell, and I do feel like a lot of like immigrant Asian parents, they compare you to other people, and I think like just seeing like how a lot of like my fellow Asian Americans like grew up, I think we suffered from that. There's like we're super hard on ourselves. We have like there's like inferiority, like we're not like doing good enough.
Yes, sir.
So I feel like it's like and I would like and that that just always annoyed me. Like if like Pops was comparing me to something and it wasn't even relevant to the conversation, it just made me resentful. It's just like it just made me like obviously as I got older, I become a lot more sympathetic to like their background and their story.
Yeah.
And I've accepted them, but at the same time, when I'm young and they're like just being like, feel like they're being insensitive to my plight. It's like it's when you're growing up as an adolescent. That's when like, like it's a stage where you're learning yourself, and I think that's when I clashed with my parents the most as an adolescent. Like especially being an Asian American, where like. You're very clearly culturally different from Asians from Asia, but you're also seen as a perpetual outsider by like a lot of.
Ooh, that's tough.
You're not seen as a true American just because
just because you live in the U.S.
And I always felt, and even as a little kid, I always felt that energy, like, and not from just the what was it in the conscious of the American mind, and like when something like COVID happened. Yeah. Like that just like for me
the China virus type
well that
shit.
just showed me like the true that just like what was it when COVID happened, that proved to me what I already like feared and I like felt, and it just confirmed it. It's like it's we're this like they blame us for everything. They blame us for something, and they use the disease they use that whole pandemic as just an excuse to voice their racism and prejudice and hatred against a group of people that. And unfortunately, I just think it all stems from a lack of exposure, and then it breeds into like hatred, or just ignorance. Yeah, ignorance.
Can I ask you all, when that hashtag came out, Stop Asian Hate? Like what was your experience? What it was like, Stop Asian Hate?
Personally,
yes.
I think, don't get me wrong, it didn't really hit me as an Indonesian, because when we talk about Asian in America, it's mostly like Chinese are more exposed, Japanese are more exposed. Like not many people know about Indonesia. Like they don't know, so I don't know what's happening until people said stop hating Asian. Like stop hate Asian. I didn't know at all. Like what happened. Like did they even like some of my black friends said that, oh, they're racist towards Chinese. Like really, seriously, because they're not towards me, for example. So like when we talk about Asian, it's very broad.
Yes, ma'am.
Especially like Indonesia is like not many people here, so like we don't really expose too much. Like it didn't really hit me very well, but because it's wrong. So like I support that movement because I was also the victim of the COVID-19 racism. Because at that time, 2019, I came back here. I got a bloody cuff, and they couldn't detect what it was. It was 3 days before COVID came, and I was bleeding so much. I went to the doctor. They didn't allow me, and then they checked. They told me I had a tuberculosis.
They did.
Yeah, tuberculosis. So I was escorted from my university, and then they put me in the hospital. But they called the police, Northeastern police, and no one wanted to pick me up. And then the police asked, where is she from? What is her ethnicity? Where were she at the time? Did she travel Asia before? And at that time, the nurse was a black woman, black lady, and then she was like, "This is racism." No one would take me out, but they knew that I had a tuberculosis, and they asked me to walk. They didn't let me to take the train. They didn't let me to take an Uber because this is contagious. So basically, no one would take me just because I'm Asian.
I am so
That's fine.
so sorry.
But after that, after a week, they said like they got my tests. I was 1 week in the isolation.
And hold on, did you sue their ass? Did
What?
you sue their asses?
No, and then they did. The test was wrong.
No, it was not.
It was not a tuberculosis.
So they said you had tuberculosis and you
Yeah.
did it, and they made you walk even
Yeah.
though you didn't have the tuberculosis.
No.
We coming for your motherfucking ass,
And
whoever
then-
it was.
and then-
We
Girl,
coming
that's
for
a check
your
right
ass.
there.
Don't
That's
do
a
my
check.
friend.
I didn't. It was the first year, so I didn't know. I didn't know. I talked to my friend. You should have sued them. So I still have the letter right now. If I can sue,
Hell yeah.
I still can.
That's what America's about, baby. Welcome to America, baby. Hey.
Would you guys support me?
Yeah, what? I will find you the lawyer. I will find.
Well, I'm
I
gonna
will
show up in
find
court.
you
So
the
I'm gonna find you
lawyer.
in court.
So I was so stressful because I know that I'm gonna when the doctor said that I'm sorry you had a tuberculosis, and I feel like I'm gonna die at that time. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to die in the hospital, and I was thinking about my parents, but I'm gonna die soon whatsoever. And then 3 days after they said like, hey, we did the wrong test in the lab. And I was like, I wasn't sick until I got sick. So you know what, the bill was like $100,000.
It's okay. They finna take care of it.
But
They finna
it's
take care of it. Don't worry about it.
It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
insurance. So yeah, if you guys want to help me out.
That is one say no more.
Wait, you thought you were gonna die? You
Yeah.
said?
Because tuberculosis is deadly.
Yeah.
So I was thinking just like, okay, I'm gonna die, so like whatever.
So we're on the issue of mental health, and it's not something that's really talked about a lot. And I want to lighten up the mood a little bit. But is there anything that y'all want to say in regards to mental health, or any like recommendations for even a young Asian child that's out here that's got a parents maybe like you, Quan, or maybe like you, Adam, or that can't really express themselves? Like, what would you tell a young Asian person right there that's just having a hard time with their mental health and their capacity to live right now?
Oh, I will say, like, I've always dealt with racism, and I've dealt with racism before. Like, I kept my head down.
Yeah.
I kept going. But, like, the thing with Stop Asian Hate thing was very important. I didn't go to the protest myself, but it was very important, very good to see. And I think to young Asian, just stand up for yourself more. Don't be a pushover. Don't let them emasculate you. That's what I would do. And I need to work on that myself. But yeah.
So it's a culture thing for you mostly.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Anybody else? For the youngins out there?
Don't be afraid to go to therapy.
Yeah.
For me, like I always told myself, like, oh, therapy is not for me because of what my family, made me believe. Like, you deal with your problems on your own. You
Yeah.
know, you
What
don't.
if the therapy is expensive? What if someone doesn't have my money to go to therapy?
I mean, but there's a lot of
Call me.
resources, though.
Call me.
There's so many resources nowadays.
It is very true.
Yeah,
there's
can,
a resource even here on Show and Tell. We did a show with a lady who owns a mental health. Is it free? I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's not. And she's one of those people that you could reach out to, like. Communicate, you feel me? We'll get the resource.
Yeah.
We'll get the resource.
There's so many people you can talk to.
That's right.
To get the right resources to help you.
That's right.
So yeah, like for me, like I never believed in therapy because of what my family told me.
Yeah.
Just deal with that on your own. It'll pass. Or you shouldn't feel away because of how far we've gotten. You too. But definitely don't be afraid to like talk to somebody and go to therapy and don't care what your family tells you.
That's right.
I was gonna ask the resources because Asian people in America, like if you're first coming here, what are the resources that you have? I know you have. Don't you try to help for Indonesians?
Yeah. So the resources was like because I came here for school. So the resources was about like I paid the agency about like finding dormitory, Google. We have like a community like website where all the international students whatsoever, and because like in school I did really really good, and I would love to give back to the community. So I am the resources right now. So I'm giving back to the community. Like I have the project called Study with Armaya where I coach Indonesian people who want to improve their confidence in speaking English, because before I couldn't speak English at all. So this is my fifth
You
year
tell them to go
speaking
on 4
English.
dates.
Yeah. So I was like from zero. I was learning English when I was 27, and I had to pass the exam for going to the university for master's degree. It's called TOEFL exam. You need to be in an advanced to take that, but at that time I was in the beginner level to intermediate. So I was like, you know what? That's why like I did it for you guys for some reason, because of that. I just need to pass that. You know? Yeah.
You are like absolutely fascinating, like 100%. Like you were on, you like you came with a mission and you did that shit. You did that shit very well, very well. Kudos.
Yeah, every day I learn something new about my. She was a DJ.
That's crazy, right?
Y'all know she was a DJ.
I was a DJ since 2010.
She was a DJ.
Now.
I'm like, she has lived 9 lives like a cat.
I had 9 lives and 99 problems, and the guy asked me to go to the park. I don't have time to go to the park.
You're not going to the park. Now, can I get you? Can I get you all to give us your drops? And also, too, what advice would you like to give that that person growing up and that's been in your same shoes, and what would you like them to know?
Yeah, I would tell if I had to see a little Quan, I would tell him like society has tried to box you. Society has tried to box you. Even your own family, people have tried to box you in. Fuck that. Rock the boat.
That part.
And also, not therapy. I am a big supporter of therapy, but I also think that like not just Asians. I think like if they're like a minority, they're just gonna get it more.
Yeah.
And I feel like like there's a therapist I saw, a white guy, like I think loved him, super useful, but they were just like there were certain things that he just could not relate to me at all. Yep. And that's when I realized like I only had like my boys, like other Asian close friends that I could talk to, because like and even the therapist he admitted himself, like this is unfortunately not something like
Sorry, I'm not Asian.
Well, no, it was just like from him. He's like very professional, just cultural competency. It's not something he can really like he can relate about like with him a lot of universal like things about being a man, mental health, but like when it comes to like certain Asian things and stuff, he admits to me, he's like, I'm not going to be able to resonate and relate with you as much as if like another therapist was Asian with you. So I think that with therapy, I feel like you need to like, I think it's super, and I think it honestly, I believe, correct me if I'm not, other minorities have expressed this, like finding a therapist who's going to be able to like at least in some strong degree relate with what you're going through. Exactly. And all that.
That makes sense.
Very important.
So a message to someone that's in my shoes.
Yeah, and give us drops too.
You're a killer. Don't listen to anybody else. Fuck everybody else. Hell yeah. And it's at the Adam Lou Show. Give me a follow or don't. Or don't. I don't care. But yeah.
Best shit show in Boston.
I would say follow your heart. Don't be afraid to be the black sheep of your family. Do whatever you set your mind to. Don't care whoever's judging you, especially those who should love you unconditionally. Don't let their voices get in the way of what you truly want to do. And yeah, if you ever need help or somebody to talk to, I'm here.
You go first.
Okay, I go first. I would tell someone like me, and I think the life will getting better and better. Don't think about the future. Don't bring the past with you. Just forget the bad thing and keep going and look forward. Don't look back.
Be kind. I believe in kindness. But when I said be kind, just really be kind, like sincerely and compassionate, and love your family. And don't forget to just study. You have to improve yourself every day.
That's right.
Like, even 1%. So like if today you read 1 page, maybe the next day 2 pages. And just be kind. I think that's the most powerful thing that I've done in my life, and it's coming back to me. Yeah, thanks.
You finna make me cry, girl. And I ain't even really. I had like 1 sip of drink, and that was like 3 hours ago. Like, I really appreciated this conversation because I just appreciate like different views, and I know that there's a lot of Asian community in Boston, and they're not really heard. Like you said, they kind of just, like you guys said, they kind of all kind of like sit back and stuff. So I'm sure that any person, honestly, any ethnicity, nationality, anybody watching this episode could take something back from this episode. So thank you guys for sharing your perspectives. Thank you guys for being vulnerable, and I'm just full. I'm be full.
Okay, so say
I just want to add something as well. Over the years, I've also learned, don't be too upset over things that you can't control, and control what you can. So, your emotions and how you handle things. Don't let, other people's actions, make you evil or make you bitter. Continue to just have, a kind heart and be genuine and be yourself, because that's what matters the most.
That's right.
Any resources for people just coming to America and
Any Indonesian people who want to come to America, DM me, Armaya Doremi. You can get anything you want. I think I would say I can give you as much information that you can. I help several students who got into university just because of my advice, and then they DM me. Like every time people DM me from Indonesia, like, hi sister, hi Armaya, you're so inspiring, etc., etc., I would make time for that person to answer their question. Okay, take my number, call me, and I will do one-on-one with that person to explain this is how you need to do before going to America. So if anyone wants to come into America and learn about and how to adapt to the culture, and I would say I'm confident to say that they can follow my guidance.
Yeah.
Because as an Indonesian, I don't have many Indonesian community here, but I am accepted in the Vietnamese community. I'm accepted in the Chinese community. I'm accepted in the Indian community and Black community. So like I'm show and tell community. So like, it's you just need to be friendly, but also verified, right? Meaning that you need to be sincere. That if you want to help people, just sincere,
from the heart.
From the
help,
heart.
Help because you want to. Help because you want to be kind. Help not because you want something in return.
And you need to be interested to people in order for people to be interested in you.
Come on now, say that one more time. Like, say that loud, because that is. Like, you can't if
you're not giving.
Like there is no such thing as trying to get money out of an account that you don't have money into. You
need to be interested in people to make people
genuinely
interested in you.
That's right.
Yeah, you need to invest first. Invest first. Yes.
Okay, what's your Instagram?
Armaya Doremi.
Spell it.
ARMAYA DOREMI. I'm expecting like 1,000 followers from
I'm
this.
screaming.
Exactly. Let's get it.
God. I'm finna follow your ass as soon as I get home. What about you, babe? What's your handle on Instagram?
Oh my, no, it's. I mean,
don't got
I know
Instagram?
there's a BCNC, it's a Boston Chinese community. But Chinese
Your
people does-
Instagram handle.
Your Instagram handle.
At LEF, your Instagram handle.
She's taking.
Username.
LE5.
She can't even remember.
What did you say?
I just said you were taking.
LE5?
LE5 TIAN. I think that's it. That's it.
Okay.
Right?
Hopefully that's it.
All right.
Show and tell Boston After Dark, and that's a wrap.
Good night, guys.